Hey there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another CSGO video. Today with another episode of Noob to Pro, the series that should help you get better at Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Today we're talking about bad teammates, how to play with them even if they're toxic or, well, non-existent for that matter. As you all know, Noob to Pro is a 3-part series, meaning on Monday you always get a big tutorial / guide video like this one, including your training routine as well as tips for the week, and on Tuesday I'll be streaming so you can ask me additional questions in my stream that I then can answer for you guys in order to help you get even better at Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So I'd say, let's get right into it. So first of all, let's talk about the mentality. You gotta accept that when you're playing with very bad teammates for like whatever reason, you will not be the very good top fragger if you want to actually win the game. So let's say you got a bad teammate, his score is about 0 and your score would be about 8. However, if you downgrade yourself to a 5, you would also enable him to become a 5 as well, which would raise your total score to a 10 instead of only a 8. This means you most likely won't be a top fragger, and this is also a common mistake with many people that are saying like they're carrying the team and they're top fragging. Well, yes, but they're not playing with their team and hence they're losing, so that's why they're not ranking up. So this is a very important concept that you have to understand and you have to accept as well. It's a little bit annoying to be fair, but that's just how it is. Alrighty, now let's talk about bad teammates. So in our example right here, I think I already used this one on a previous Noob to Pro episode where we were talking about flexible playstyles and stuff like that, but it still stands. So let's say our bad teammate right here, all he does is just going long, rushing there, trying to get a pick on the guy right here at long corner. Now the thing is, as we already mentioned previously, he's a 0 when it goes like from a 0 to 10 skill scale, meaning that if he's jumping out right here, he's just doing something like this. And of course, he's not getting the guy, he's dying, dropping his weapon for the enemies, and you're basically in a 4 versus 5 scenario right now, which is of course bad. You do not want that, you always want to have the man advantage. So, as I said before, you're kind of an 8 in this scenario, meaning that you could be, theoretically, go out right here in front of him before he actually gets to this point, get a pick in order to make it easier for him. Of course, this is spawn dependent, and the other guy is doing it regardless of his spawn, so he'll always get picked, so you cannot always just rely on your spawn to get the guy. And even, like, the guy right here on long corner could be a 9 from a 1 to 10 scale, meaning he'd outbeat you, so you're going to peek and he kills you. End of the story, so you're not helping him either. So previously what I said, if you're decreasing yourself to a 5, you're kind of raising your friendly to a 5 as well, which again, in kind of skill scale terms means you two would be a 10 now. So just by doing something simple like flashing out for him right here, he'd have a lot easier time trying to pick on the guy, even if his aim isn't all that great, he's just trying to control his recoil somewhat and get even like a lucky headshot, so you'd be a 10 together. Meaning that by using proper like team play, you'd be able to elevate the guy on a higher level and, again, just in general, your team to a higher level, meaning that the guy right here on long corner, even though he'd be a better player by his own individually, cannot do anything against the two of you. And this is kind of the theme of like your bad teammates. Sometimes they're just having a bad day. Sometimes they're really bad, they cannot properly play. We gotta accept that, but you just gotta make the best out of it. For example, let's say your friendly bad teammate is communicating to you, he's going to rush B. So if you're lucky, you got a better spawn, meaning that you can go in like this, get the flashbang in, turn away, and try to get a pick. However, of course, this doesn't always work. Sometimes he's in front of you and you cannot properly flash him then. Like, of course, you could do something like that and kind of turn away, but most likely he's going to flash a friendly as well or just confuse him. So in this scenario, it's really important to trade. Something, if you see that you have bad teammates, especially on the T side, you should not go for picks. So what playing for picks means is you're all kind of like posting up in like a contact zone spot, like right here, or towards the top mid area right here, and you're trying to get a kill and kind of work off of that. If you have a bad teammate, stay with that guy. Like, take him by the hand, try to support him as good as possible, like right here. Who is that? A bot gunner. Just stay by his side, flash for him, headshot the other guys for him, just combine your possibilities in order to help the guy, even though he's bad. Like, just saying, oh my god, you're so bad, just do not rush every round and drop me an AK, doesn't help. It won't. It's just like, that's not how it works. So try to make the best out of it when you're having like bad teammates. And again, bad teammates here referring to players of low skill or just few game knowledge kind of. So yeah, this is basically the first kind of tip that I can give you guys, and I think this usually works out best for the most part. Alrighty, let's keep on moving. Now we're talking about non-communicating teammates, which can also refer to people that are just, well, refusing to speak English and are just asking Ruski all the time. Now, the problem right here is that you cannot possibly communicate any strats or techniques with them. So for the most part, this often happens. For example, these 4 guys are pre-made. They're queuing together, they're in TeamSpeak, and they're refusing to join the team chat. Now, the thing is, you cannot do anything about that. You can ask them nicely, which is the best thing in, well, what you can do. However, if they refuse to do so, you're just kind of stuck with that. And once again, you just have to accept that. Just moaning about it, complaining about it, won't help you win the game. So what you're doing is you just keep playing as if nothing ever changed. You just keep playing as if the guys would be communicating with you. Then even if they're not giving any info to you, you still can give info to them. And let's face it, those guys not communicating anything to one player, however one player communicating all his info to 4 seems like a better bet, just even though you're not getting any info. So once again, if you're not communicating, not doing anything, just try to give them as many callouts as possible, just try to play as normally as possible, and then maybe on top of that, try to play a little bit more careful, and maybe if you can, try to stay either with them or kind of behind them, and I do not say bait them, but kind of analyze what they're trying to say, like, or better said, trying to do, since they're not speaking. So if you see, like, you're in spawn, 2 of them have a good B spawn, and they're kind of turning away from you, looking towards B, this might be an indicator that they are actually going towards B, so you might go, like, instead of an AWP, with an AK, since that is most likely a safer choice for many people if they're trying to go for a fast B push. And yeah, it's kind of annoying, to be honest, once again, with bad teammates that are not communicating, so you're not getting any info, but as I said before, you gotta play it a little more carefully, try to see what your teammates are doing, and do not do any, like, risky things. Like, even when you're saying, like, I'm trying to push there and there, just don't do that. Like, you're the outstander here, like the outlandish guy. You're just trying to, well, you're just trying to do what they do. You're just following them, basically. Even if you're usually the IGL or shot caller, in that kind of scenario, just trying to follow in line with the rest of the team will yield much better results than trying to coordinate something with them or giving them, like, a shot call or something like that. So just try to do it. I know, once again, it's annoying, you just gotta suck it up, but this is the way you're going to win, or, well, actually increase your chance of winning the games when you have teammates that are not communicating. Okay, next up, we got toxic teammates. So, toxic teammates can occur for a couple of reasons. Like, maybe your friendly teammate has lost a couple of rounds in a row, or just a couple of games in a row, and this means he's kind of triggered, he's tilted, he just gets headshotted every round, and instead of trying to switch it up or just, like, flash himself out or ask for help, he's just trying to go for the same duel always, all the time, ever again, because he wants to get, like, a revenge kill on the guy right here, but he never gets it, so he just get, like, fired up and even more fired up, and he's just getting angry. Now, the important thing about toxic players is that you're trying to, or just angry players in general, you're trying to minimize your communication with them. You're not giving them anything besides something like they're too long or too cross right here. Stuff like that. You do not want to give them any more potential in order to attack you. Even if they're saying something like, oh my god, you're so bad, you messed up there. Like when they're watching you in death cam and you're just kind of running out right here and you're like throwing the flash and you're messing it up and it's kind of getting you. Or, well, actually that was a little too good, but like, let's say like this, and you're just running out and it's flashing and he's like, oh my god, you're so bad, what are you doing? Importantly, toxic or triggered people want you to get triggered as well. At some point, they kind of accept for themselves that they cannot win the game anymore, and at this point they kind of wanna, well, it sounds weird, but they want to win against their own teammates by making them, like, mad as well. They want to trigger you as well, they want to make you be toxic as well, so that he's not the only one being pissed at the game because this game is so bad and so shitty. He wants the other teammates of him to be angry as well, together with him, because, like, that's what angry people do. They want to be angry with everyone else, so that they can, like, shout at each other. You must not give into that. Just stay calm. Try to ignore his toxic things for the most part. If you have, like, trouble with that, just mute him altogether. He should still be able to call to hear your other teammates' callouts if you're giving them onto them. So, once again, try to stay calm. do not give in to the other guy just trying to tilt you, like bot gunner right here especially is always trying to tilt everyone on the team because he's so toxic. So do not do that. Oh, especially this right here, never team damage. It will just tilt everyone even more. So now we're talking about a very, very special and rare kind of matchmaking teammates that actually often occur, and those are the non-existent teammates, meaning, once again, our friendly bots right here. Now, to be fair, playing with a bot is usually not the best thing to do. There are kind of ways that you can go around with that, and I've often won with bots, and to be fair, I've also won before with 2 bots, and there are a couple of theories behind it to actually make it work. First of all, let's say on the scoreboard, you see, I'm the worst one right here. I got -1 kills, I died once, and so I'm really bad right here. So if they decide to kick me, and let's say bot Stone actually had like 30 frags like over the whole game in the 15th round or something like that, he'd be a good player. So if I would have been kicked, he would have been able to get the bot and kind of like play a good player twice. Of course, with a bot comes always the downside. First of all, they are not always doing what you want. Even if you're using the radio commands and you're telling them, hold this position, they just sometimes do not care and just run off to some weird way. You can right after that also hit the, what's it called? The affirmative rusher, and this seems to increase the chance of the bots listening to you. However, it doesn't always seem to be the case. Now, the problem with the bots. When you're playing on T-side, that's how you want to play with the bots. On T-side, you want to rush as fast as possible, so that you can, for example, try to go in here, get a fast pick, and then kill the other guy. Now the thing is, if the bot actually did listen to you, he might be just waiting for you in spawn right here. This is very handy, because then you can just go right here, get the kill right here, maybe walk in, then you get killed and trade it. This means now on the T side, you got an advantage, because as soon as someone of the CTs is dying, they're always in a kind of worse shape, because they still have like a fewer man advantage, and they have to spread out more along like fewer spots. Now if there are only 4 guys, this means only like 2 of them could be at each side, or only 1 of them at each side, and like 2 in the middle and stuff like that. So the fewer CTs there are, the harder it gets for them to actually properly defend their sides, meaning that if you're trading as a T, it's actually quite nice to just rush in, try to get a kill, like catch a quick frag, and then switch over to the bot and kind of use your second life with that. And this is kind of how you're playing with a bot. You're trying to go in fast, getting a kill. However, if the bot is refusing to listen to you, you're just kind of trying to follow him and using him as bait, meaning that you, for example, he's going towards B and he's kind of walking out right here, and he's being shot at, and he's like, oh no, I'm being shot at, help, hold this position, whatever he's saying. You use this to your advantage, since you already know that the guy is firing at the enemy, or basically your friendly right here, so you can see them and surprise them and get a kill on them. However, this guy is firing at your friendly, and we all know just switching to another target or just readjusting your spray is a lot harder than for you just to going to pop out and tap, kill him away. So this is basically how you play with a bot on the T side. Now on CT side, it's kind of a similar story. Once again, if the bot decides to rush, you can kind of, for example, right here with an AWP, try to bait him as much as possible. However, it's a lot harder, because on CT side you essentially want to stay at your kind of baseline, meaning the kind of the line that is connecting your bomb sites, your mid, and kind of your rotation routes. So a rushing bot is always super annoying on CT side, so having a bot on T side is really a lot easier to deal with. However, if the bot is actually, well, willing to hold his position and he's just waiting right here in spawn, this means that you can still effectively spread across the sides, and then as soon as you're dying you can switch over to a bot and then use him. You always gotta remember, when you're playing against like bad guy, or like when you're playing with a bad teammate or with a bot, or just anything in like similar to that, the enemy team does only see the number up here, like 4 and 4. They know, okay, there are 4 guys alive. Do they know that the guy who's coming long is the bad player? Well, if he's going there every round, to be fair, they probably will suspect it. But then again, if you're flashing him out, or if you're like in front of him for once and you just run out and you get the kill, they do not expect that. Again, they can only see the number, and you gotta make use of that. You gotta keep them guessing, basically, and try to make the best, once again, out of it. You, as I said before, you gotta suck it up and just deal with the situation. There's nothing much you can do. Best thing, do not complain, try to make it work. So these are the basically tips that I can give you guys. Once again, for the CT side, just try to make him hold his position. If not, you kind of in a bad spot. It's a little easier to deal with on T side. Once again, trying to bait him can help there. But yeah, I think it's pretty much wraps it up for this video. This week's training routine is basically just trying to, well, practice the game, and yeah, that's all really it. Not much anything specific. And yeah, I think it's pretty much all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and luckySkillFaker out.